Well, good afternoon, everyone. This is Thursday Technique, a day late on Friday. Yesterday afternoon, I had the chance to go down to Seattle to visit my daughter that I haven't seen in months. And I had a wonderful conversation with her, sitting out on their back deck. It was just really a lot of fun. So I was not able to make it this recording on Thursday. Now today, I have for you the exciting Alcohol Ink Alcohol Ink Smoosh Technique to make exciting backgrounds. So I will get started on this. Let me move the camera down so you can see the work surface. Thank you for coming, and if you have any comments, be sure to leave them. I won't be able to watch them and respond while I'm doing my stamping. I'm just not skilled at doing two things at one time yet, but I will respond to your comments after I'm through with the video. So at any rate, let's go have some fun. I'm going to cover up the camera while I turn it over, so I'll be with you in just a second. And there, I think we've got it done. So today I'm going to show you, let me fix this just a little bit more. I'm going to show you a card that I made. First off, this is from the June Paper Pumpkin called Box of Sunshine, and I love this color, that colorway that they have. And here's another card with the background, and here's another one. And so I thought that by using the alcohol smoosh, I would be able to recreate this because it looks like it's drops of alcohol that have been kind of spread around. So that was my attempt to make a card similar. And this is what I came up with. It's not exactly like that, but it comes close. The colors that they used here were crushed curry and Poppy Parade. Unfortunately, we do not have crushed curry alcohol markers, but so I had to substitute, and I used the Mango Melody, dark Mango Melody, and then I did use the Poppy Parade, the dark Poppy Parade. And so this is the card that I ended up using to design this card. Now there were several other. That was about the fourth try. I got this one, and because it's alcohol inks, it soaks through to the other side. So there's this pattern, which is kind of cool as well. Not exactly what I was going for, like this, because it doesn't have the sharp edges, but it's similar. This is another one. This was the back side as it soaked through. So that's what we're going to try to accomplish today. I think that this would be better being done with re-inkers. And so next technique will be to do the smoosh with re-inkers. And we'll see how that turns out next week. Okay, so to do the technique with the re-inkers or with the alcohol inks, I used a page protector that I opened up for the plastic. So one thing I did, so I would know where to put the alcohol inks on the thing. I had this piece of cardstock behind the page protector, and I'm just going to draw the lines around there so that I can see where to put the inks on here. Okay, so lay this down like that. And I discovered that using the sides of the brush stroke of the marker work best. So you just kind of scribble over Each time you do this, it's going to turn out different. And I thought at first you would have to really work fast because the alcohol inks dry fast, quickly. But actually, because you're going to re-moisten it with alcohol anyway. So we'll try that, see how that one turns out. This is a spray bottle with rubbing alcohol in it. And you just spritz with the alcohol. You can add a lot of alcohol or not so much. As you can see, as I spray, the ink starts to run a little bit, which is what I'm trying to get. And then you can even pick up your thing and kind of move it around a bit, like that. And then lay your card down, your cardstock. This is a 5.5 by 4.25 piece of Whisper White cardstock. And you fold the folder over and rub it down. And here's the result. It has quite a bit of alcohol on it. I think, let me get a paper towel. You could let it run as much as you want, or I think I'm going to blot it this time because I don't want to run anymore. So that gives us this kind of a design. And I decided on one of them that on the one I think I actually used. No, it was this one. I wanted more red in it, so I came back and scribbled some more red on it. And I think I'm going to do that on this one too. Put a little bit more red on it. Spritz it one more time. Sorry about the barking dogs. That's a part of our life here. Okay, now lay that down on top. Oh, they gave it a little more color. When you get done, you just wash it off the page protector and you end up and can use it again. So using alcohol, this should dry fairly quickly, but I'm going to go over and use my heat tool to get it to dry a little faster. I'll be right back. On second thought, because it's still quite wet, I'm going to set that aside and we'll use one of these two to make our card. And let's see. I think I'll use this one. And I cut with the largest of the rectangle stitched so sweetly dies. So I'll be right back after I do that. The Stitch So Sweetly dies are my favorite dies to go to. It's this set. I love the scalloped edges of the rectangle dies, and I like the shapes of these. It goes along with a stamp set, and there's a little tiny greeting that fits in here perfectly. Might say hello or something like that. Makes a very nice outline for a little label. And I've used this one quite often. And although these are rectangles, you could make it a square by, so I've cut it as a rectangle, and if I were to line it up so that the scallops match, and you can kind of feel it click down into the stitches, and then if you ran it through again with everything lined up, ran it through again, it would cut off this end, but you'd still have your scallops here. So that's one way to make a square out of a rectangle die. Anyway, these are my favorite. I use them all the time. So there we have this cut, and the card base is crushed curry, 8.5 by 5.5, folded in half for the base. Piece of basic black cardstock that is 4 inches by 5 1/4. We'll put it on with our new Stamp and Seal. Come on. I'm forever pulling off the adhesive on the front end here. So you go down, and it still is good to go off to the side. The Stampin' Up! Says you don't need to do that anymore, but that is how I avoid getting it pulled off the front end so that it won't start. So we'll place that on here. Not good. Stamp and Seal is a little bit stickier than Snail was, but still you can work it up if you get it before it gets really pressed down well. There. Okay, next thing is to put on our piece that we just did with the Alcohol Smoosh. Turn it around this way. And then the greeting that I'm choosing to use is To a Friend That Makes Me Smile. It's part of the Forever Fern stamp set. This lovely stamp set that has makes the most beautiful leaves and stuff. I used it for this sample of band stamping. Just love that. It's one of the distinctive inks or distinctive stamps that has the shading and stuff built right into it, so you get a 3D or a two-step stamping effect with just one stamp. So anyway, this is To a Friend That Makes Me Smile. I'm going to use Memento ink like that. Now, I could just stamp it like this, but I oftentimes don't get it quite straight, so the best way to avoid that is to deliberately make it crooked. Then I don't have to worry about it lining up perfectly. Or the other thing I do, I'll stamp it this way, and it will be crooked, and then I have to go and stamp it on another piece of paper and die cut it to make it as a label on the side. Okay, and then we're going to make a bow. This is the ruched Daffodil Delight ribbon that was in the spring catalog, and they carried it over to the annual catalog. So just make a bow. Sometimes they turn out really good, and sometimes they don't. This time I think I'm pretty lucky. Make it a little bit smaller. I think Stampin' Up! Ribbon is one of the best deals you can possibly get because they give you plenty of it. I love using ribbons, but I rarely use a whole roll. Let's see, this one gives you 10 yards. You can make a lot of bows from 10 yards. And then put it on with a glue dot. One of the best inventions they ever came up with. I think this needs to be trimmed a little bit more. Okay. Now I got to have a little bit of glitter and glitz on it. And Stampin' Up! Is so generous in their paper pumpkin kits that I have from the June kit. I have a bunch of their sequins that are colored just the right color. And they are self-adhesive, which makes it very nice. So I'm going to put one just randomly in threes. One over there. And then I think I'll put one down here in the corner. Like that. Speaking of paper pumpkin kits, the one for today is the last day that you can subscribe, if you aren't already a subscriber, to be able to get the July paper pumpkin kit, and it is absolutely stunning. It has little luminaries, paper bags that are die cut with openings in them that you can drop in a flameless little flameless tea light. You can make 9 of those, and then you get postcards, size ones with envelopes for cards. Then in addition to that, you can buy an add-on kit. It's only $10, and you get the card bases for to make 24 cards. So between the paper pumpkin kit, and they always give you extras, between the kit and the stamps and the ink that you get with the kit and the add-on cards, you would end up with enough cards to last you for the rest of the year, probably, depending on how many you send out. So at any rate, I really urge you to go to paperpumpkin.com and subscribe and name me as your demonstrator. I'd appreciate that if you would. Name me as your demonstrator. On the 20th of July, I'm going to have a paper pumpkin party, and we will put together our paper pumpkin kits. And don't worry if you don't get subscribed but have previous kits that you haven't done. If your kit doesn't arrive by the 20th, you can do one of the other ones that you have that you haven't completed yet. So I would like you to do that and join me on the 20th. It'll be at 6:30 Mountain Pacific time. So it depends on your time zone. If you want to be part of the party, give me an email so I can have your email, and I will send you an invitation. I also encourage you to shop for the products I've used today by going to creationsbysue.stampinup.net. You can order anytime, 24/7, and for every $50 worth of order that you get, you can enter onto my Soggy Stamper benefit page that when you get 8 squares filled out, then you get to choose $45 worth of product free from me for whatever you want to order. You have to place the order through me because there's no way if you order online that I can pay for it. So something to look into. It's go to my blog, soggystamper.com, and look for customer appreciation or customer, I can't think right now what I call it now. But at any rate, there's a link at the top, and you can click on that and read more about the program. Also, there is on my blog the number of the host code for this month, and if you order and place an order using the host code, I'll send you a small gift. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope you'll come back next Thursday to see the next edition of Thursday Techniques, and we'll be doing the same technique using re-inkers, and you'll be able to see the difference. So thanks so much for watching, and have a good weekend. Bye-bye.